Welcome to our weekly news. The workshop, being summer, it's fairly quiet. However, we've got Craig's GT in here just for a quick breathe over, oil change and quick check. So that's going out the door on Saturday, tomorrow. And the only other thing going on in the workshop is that we're still waiting for the overdrive to come back on Emma's car, so that can get going again. We think it's already been sent, so with luck and a fair wind, it'll arrive before close of play today, in which case I'll get that back in first thing Monday and clear the ramps again. Amongst our conversations this week, we've had two notably interesting ones. The first was in a discussion about a car that was for sale online that had Green Stuff brake pads fitted. Now, if you've seen a few of my videos where I mention Green Stuff, it's the only brake pad we have cooked up within the first two bends of being competitive. It is, but this particular customer, he then wrote back and said, yeah, I've got it on my V70 and it is awful. If you're asking me what should you fit in that case, if you're an energetic driver, obviously if you're a standard driver, we'd just fit standard pads. If you're an energetic driver, then really it's Mintex M1144. I suspect Ferodo do an equivalent compound as well. The other interesting conversation was from Mexico, and a customer had fitted an M41 and J-Type to his car, and the speedo drive is turning the wrong way. Now, it took me a couple of days to work this out, and chatted to Dave up at Overdrive Spares, who confirmed that certainly one of the Jaguars and possibly a couple of other marques did indeed have the speedo drive output from the overdrive rotating anti-clockwise as you look at it. And of course the Volvo needs it turning clockwise, i.e. the cable where it goes into the speedo turns anti-clockwise. So it looks like this Marcos out in Mexico was sold a good M41 with a good J-Type overdrive, but the J-Type came from a different marque, not a Volvo. So we're just trying to work out how to get his speedo cable rotating the correct way again. Let's go and have a look at the racks then. So last week we started off looking at our rack of 140 front doors. So this week let's go to the next rack. Well, we've got a small selection here of 140 bonnets, and up here, look at that, there's a very early 140 bonnet in Battleship Grey, a beautiful colour for the B18 Volvo 140, and a single 164 bonnet there. And then a small selection of Amazon bonnets. There's a 2-litre Amazon bonnet. How do I know it's a 2-litre? Because there's no trim strake on the front of it here. That means it's a 2-litre car. And then we've got 4 more used bonnets up here. Here we have an assortment of 140 front panels and 2 164 front panels up there as well, used items. Then coming down, we're going to come to a little bit of a treasure trove here. Okay, my 140 rear doors, and just here amongst it, look at that. Brand new door. Now technically, it's a 240 door. What's the difference between the 240 door and the late 140? Simply that it's got metric threads on it, whereas the 140 of course was imperial. Otherwise this is identical to the last of the 140s with its integral frame, as opposed to the early 140s which had the aluminium removable frame. So there we go, there's that up there. We're kind of struggling for 145 tailgates. I've got 3 here, plus, look at that, a brand new skin there for a 145 tailgate. Down the bottom, a couple of 220 bottom tailgates and a couple of 220 Amazon top tailgates. My last remaining boot lids for the 144 or 142. And here we have a couple of 140, in fact 144, the 4-door rear wings, brand new. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right hand side. Moving on, an Amazon fiberglass front panel, and the rear doors from the Amazon. So there's a couple of 220 estate rear doors and a couple of saloon rear doors. Hadn't realised just how low on stock we are on the rear doors. Isn't that strange? Gosh. Up the top, a P1800 bonnet, Amazon and 140 front panels, and a PV544 bonnet up there. Further aft, and up the top here, our last remaining P1800 boot lids. Not terrific, but they're good enough with a datum. These are a load of 140 rear chassis rails. Those chaps there, brand new. And Emma's rear PV wing, which is fiberglass. Down here, front doors for the Amazon are very assorted actually. Look at that, a couple of P1800 front doors, a couple of 130 2-door front door, Amazon front doors. That is a 142 front door. That's why it's up here, because it's a 2-door there. That's a P1800 headlining, and another 142 door, P1800, and a pair of 130 front doors. And finally, down here, fuel injected P1800 nose cone and some glass as well. Oh yes, this one. What's this one? This one is, a 140 inner wing, isn't it? It is the, I should be able to work this out. There. Right hand side, yeah, right hand side inner wing for a 140, plus the repair section for a 145 rear glass area. There we go. That's another rack done. Okay, let's go and have a look. There's a couple of items in the shop that I've spotted that you might like. Let's go that way. This one's a nice one. Part number 277429? 249. Part number 277249. It is a bits cage that goes on over the rear axle of an Amazon in the boot. Now, this one we're offering for 60 quid. it's probably going to be about £110 when we get the next shipment in. So that's our last old stock one for 60 quid. Amazon bits cage in the boot. Along that topic of trim, we have a brand new right hand rear 140 door card in red. This one's part number 691812, and I would want 40 quid for that. So look at that, isn't that gorgeous? It's the dark red that's got the sort of black mottling in it. 691812. And finally, not new, but immaculate condition, is 164 Early aluminium rad grill. And what did we say we wanted for that, Em?
100, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 100 quid for the pair. Just excellent condition. So, 164 rad grill from the Early car. There we go. Well, that's really it for today. I'm going to leave you with a couple of videos just filmed, I think, last weekend from a customer in New York. Thank you very much, Victor. That was very kind of you to send us that. And if anyone else wants to add, then please send us a bit of your video, and we can add it to our weekly news for everybody to see. Thank you very much.